He stood in front of the class, hands trembling, voice shaking, eyes fixed on the floor. Everyone was staring, waiting. The teacher had asked him to introduce himself in English, just a simple introduction. But for him, it wasn't simple at all. It felt like standing on a mountain edge. One wrong step, and he would fall. My name is, his voice cracked. A few students giggled. Someone whispered, he can't even say his name. He wanted to disappear. That day, his heart broke quietly, not because others laughed, but because he realized something painful. He had been learning English for years and still couldn't speak. That boy's name was Arjun. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't lazy. He just didn't believe in himself. Every night he promised, tomorrow I'll speak. And every tomorrow, he stayed silent. At home, he'd practice in front of the mirror. He'd open YouTube, listen to English speakers, repeat every sentence. But the moment he stepped into class, everything vanished. Words got stuck. Confidence disappeared. One evening, sitting on the roof, Arjun looked at the stars and whispered, "Why can't I speak like them? Why do I freeze?" His father walked in quietly and sat beside him. "What are you thinking, Arjun?" Arjun sighed. "Papa, I study so much, but still I can't speak English. Everyone laughs." His father smiled softly. "When I was your age, I couldn't even write my own name in English. But you know what helped me?" Arjun looked up. "What?" "Courage. Not grammar, not words, just courage." That night, something clicked inside Arjun. He realized maybe fluency isn't about perfect sentences. Maybe it's about bravery. The next morning, he woke up earlier than usual. He stood in front of the mirror and said, "From today, I'll speak even if my English is broken." He didn't know how powerful that decision would be. At school, during English class, the teacher asked a question. Nobody raised their hand. And then, slowly, Arjun did. Everyone turned to him. His heartbeat exploded. He opened his mouth and spoke. "Ma'am, I think answer is, environment make change in people." His grammar was wrong. His sentence wasn't smooth, but he spoke. The class went silent, not because he was wrong, but because it was the first time he had spoken confidently. The teacher smiled and said, "Good try, Arjun. That's correct. Just say, the environment changes people." He nodded, smiled shyly, and sat down. For the first time, no one laughed. For the first time, he felt something stronger than fear. Pride. That night, he wrote in his diary, "I spoke. My English was broken, but I spoke. And that's enough." Days turned into weeks. Arjun started speaking more, to his friends, teachers, even shopkeepers. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes people corrected him. But every word he spoke made him stronger. He started watching English movies without subtitles, listening carefully, repeating lines aloud. He practiced speaking in front of the mirror, recording his own voice and laughing at his funny pronunciation, not with shame, but with joy. He had discovered something magical. Every mistake was a lesson. Every stumble was progress. A few months later, the school announced an English speech competition. Arjun wanted to join, but the old fear whispered again, "You can't, you'll embarrass yourself." But then he remembered his father's words, courage, not grammar. He wrote his name on the list. For days he practiced. His sentences weren't perfect, but his passion was. He rehearsed in his room, in front of the mirror, on the way to school, even while brushing his teeth. The night before the competition, his little sister peeked into his room and said, "Baya, I know you'll win." He smiled nervously. "Let's hope I don't forget everything." The next morning, the hall was full. Students sat quietly as one by one participants went on stage. Fluent voices, perfect accents, polished words. And then it was Arjun's turn. He stepped up, his hands sweating. He looked at the crowd, took a deep breath. Good morning, everyone. My name is Arjun, and today I want to tell you something from my heart. His voice shook for a moment, then grew stronger. When I first tried to speak English, people laughed at me. I felt small, broken, and stupid. But then I realized something. English is not about showing off. It's about connection. It's about courage. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone was listening. He continued, I may not speak perfect English, but this language helped me dream bigger. It helped me talk to people from other worlds. It taught me that mistakes don't make you weak. Fear does. By the end of his speech, the crowd stood and clapped. Not because his English was perfect, but because his courage was. He didn't just win the competition. He won respect. He changed minds. After that day, Arjun's life slowly transformed. He became the student everyone went to for help with English. He started a small YouTube channel to help others overcome fear. At first, only 10 people watched, but his videos weren't about grammar tips, they were about hope. He'd say things like, don't wait to be perfect. Speak now. Your courage is more powerful than your accent. People connected with him because he spoke from experience. Within a year, thousands followed him. He wasn't teaching English. He was teaching confidence. One day, Arjun received an email. It said, I used to be scared to speak English, but after watching your videos, I gave my first interview, and I got the job. Thank you. He smiled. That one message made every struggle worth it. Years later, he was invited to speak at an international education conference. As he stood on that big stage, surrounded by fluent speakers from around the world, he smiled. He still had a small accent. He still made small grammar mistakes. But now he didn't care, because he knew the truth. Fluency isn't perfection. Fluency is freedom. He began his speech. Good evening, everyone. Years ago, I couldn't even introduce myself in English. Today, I'm standing here, not because I'm perfect, but because I never gave up. The audience clapped. Some even cried. He told them, your English doesn't define your intelligence. It defines your courage. And courage is the most beautiful language in the world. As he finished, a student walked up to him with tears in his eyes and said, Sir, I was afraid to speak, but after hearing you, I'll try. Arjun smiled, patted his shoulder and said, Don't try to sound perfect, just try to be brave.
And that's the truth we often forget. We wait until our English is perfect before speaking, but perfection never comes. We think people will laugh, and maybe some will, but one day, those same people will clap for you. Because English is not a measure of intelligence, it's a bridge of connection. It doesn't belong to any country, it belongs to every dreamer who dares to speak. So if you're watching this, remember Arjun's story. He spoke broken English, but he changed everyone's mind, and so can you.
This is not just a story. This is the motivation chapter you needed today.